Congressman, welcome back. Good to see you again. You don't like this truce, the exchange of hostages. You don't like it, do you? Why not?
Well, Stu, let's take a step back and look at the situation here. I mean, Hamas is presenting themselves as some type of humanitarian for releasing hostages that they brutally took in the first place. On the world stage, they're dealing as though they're some kind of nation state with Israel and the United States. They're dictating the terms in terms of how many are released, when they're released. And I guarantee you they are going to seek to drag this out, because the longer they can, the more they can reposition, rearm, resupply, and get ready for the next round of fighting. So I don't like where this is going. And if their goal is to turn global opinion against Israel, I think they have the upper hand here. The UN has been horrible. You're seeing protests on the streets. I even had a relative over Thanksgiving, Stu, that was kind of doubting that October 7th was as bad as being presented. I had to send them the videos. And you've got President Biden standing on the global stage not knowing whether we have proof of life of all of the Americans, and his national security advisor on the Sunday show not having all the information. I hope they have it behind the scenes for the sake of all Americans. But I think Hamas is winning the global propaganda war here, and we need to retake the initiative and retake the upper hand.
Could you make the point that Israel is actually winning on the ground? After all, they've smashed Gaza. They've destroyed what looks like Hamas leadership. The war has not extended into northern Israel and Lebanon. It's not really extended into the West Bank. On the ground, militarily, the Israelis looking pretty good. Would you accept that?
Yeah, I think in the short term, absolutely, they're going to destroy Hamas militarily. But in the long run, as long as Iran is flush with cash, it'll be like mowing the grass, Stu. And we have to reverse our Iran policy and dry up Iran's coffers. Otherwise, they're going to continue to rearm and resupply.
Your colleague in Congress, Mike Turner, says additional aid to Israel and Ukraine unlikely to happen before the new year. Watch this, please. Roll tape.
I think it'd be very difficult to get it done by the end of the year. And the impediment currently is the White House policy on the southern border. The White House in this package, including it as a national security package, recognizing that the southern border is a threat, put in funding, but it's going to need policy changes. Congress is going to require that there be laws changed to make certain that the border returns to its prior state, perhaps remain in Mexico, other types of provisions that would secure the southern border.
Congressman Turner implies that you can actually force some border change policies. Can you do that?
Well, I think that's the leverage we have, is the power of the purse, Stu. And I can't go back to my constituents. Look, they understand that we have to stop Putin. They understand that we need to slow down the march of China and that we need to support Israel. But this is about priorities. And as long as we have 2 million people a year that we know of, and then another million at least of gotaways pouring over our southern border, the FBI director is ringing the alarm bells. It's about priorities, and this president has got to prioritize our border before others. That's what our constituents demand, and I don't know what it's going to take, aside from, God help us, another catastrophic attack on October 7th here in the United States, a Pulse nightclub, a San Bernardino, or God help us, a 9/11 style attack. But when you have hundreds of people on the terrorist watch list pouring over our border, that we know of, and the FBI director is trying to track them down all over our inner cities across the country, that should be the #1 priority for the White House. And if it's not going to be for them, we're going to make it the #1 priority in Congress.
Congressman, always a pleasure. Mike Waltz, thanks for joining us, sir. We will see you again.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
All right.
Now, on a related